Okay, I'm going to pass it on to our speakers. First, we have Sonakshi.
Hi everyone, my name is Sonakshi Pandey. As you can see here, I was born and brought up in Mumbai. That's where I'm from originally. And I think about 10 years back, I moved to the US. I did my master's and I have worked for two out of three major cloud providers. And two of those cloud providers are AWS and Google Cloud. And a fun fact about me is I'm a makeup geek and I can spend unlimited amount of hours trying to, shop makeup, play around with makeup and watch YouTube tutorials. So I call myself a makeup addict. With that, I would like to pass it on to Neelam for her introduction.
Hi, my name is Neelam Koshiya. I'm a principal solutions architect. My background is engineering, so coding is very close to my heart. And two of my main passions are inclusion and innovation. And today we are kind of marrying both of them together. So, being inclusive and talking about innovative and emerging technology like Gen AI. I do like to, read and be outdoor, and I sometimes do both of it together. For folks on the call, this is a Lego that was given to me. It's my own personal Lego, supposed to look like me. So, as a token of appreciation for my work, let me know if it actually looks like me or somebody else.
I'm jealous. I definitely would love a Lego figurine. I'm going to add that to my wish list for sure. Okay, so before we carry on to the big event, just want to highlight our team. Women Who Code, our technical tracks are largely run by volunteers that dedicate their time to curating programming and a sense of community for each of the specific track focuses. I am the leadership fellow for the cloud track, but I worked with Nydia, who's our cloud evangelist, and works really hard on our helping with our social media and coordinating and ideas such as our Cloud 101 series, which we have going on right now, and that's been a lot of fun. If you want to learn more about volunteering with Women Who Code, feel free to reach out. I'll also post some information in the chat. Okay, and that's it. So without further ado, Sonakshi and Neelam, take it away.
Okay, everyone. So let's get started with the PPT, with the event that you are all here for. But before we get started, let me first tell you why should you care about learning about Gen AI and understanding these foundations. Why does it matter that you learn Gen AI? So exactly a year back in on November 30th, 2022, ChatGPT was launched and it suddenly blew up, right? There was such a big explosion and people got worried, people got excited all at the same time. So can you folks tell me in the comments, why is it exactly that ChatGPT blew up so much? Why did it blow up? Why did it get adopted so fast? And why did people go crazy using it for each and everything? So can you tell me in the comments? Yeah. So it's accurate, its accuracy, and it was persistent. That's correct. There are a variety of reasons why it blew up, but the main reason is it caused a huge disruption. It disrupted the way we are used to doing things, we were doing things, and made us it made all our lives easier in a way, be it writing blogs, be it writing essays, content, doing so many things. So learning Gen AI matters because number one, what we learned from this is Gen AI is at the core, or it can be a heart of problem solving and optimizing our lives. This can be, solving complex problems or automating, laborious tasks. Number two, Gen AI is there to provide innovation and creativity. With creativity, Gen AI can create music, art, literature, and there are like infinite possibilities that Gen AI can do. And number three, there is a huge demand for Gen AI skills in the market right now. So individuals like yourselves, there is a demand. Companies across all the industries need people who understand how Gen AI works so that they can add those improvements in their lives. So with this, let's move into the next slide and let me show you what is it that you can take away from our presentation today. So we will walk you through how Gen AI evolved, how it works, what are a few use cases, what are some industries across which it gets leveraged. Then we will talk about the Gen AI capabilities in GCP and AWS platform. And towards the end, we have compiled a list of free resources for GCP, AWS to learn generative AI. So stick around till the end. And with that, I will pass it on to Neelam.
Okay. Thank you, Sonakshi. So I just want to, before even we move further, just want to mention that we are right now at an inflection point, right? We are going to answer what, how, which, where, etc. about generative AI today. But just want to highlight that we suddenly kind of, thought like generative AI is going to capture everybody's attention and imagination. And we are truly at that inflection point in the widespread adoption of this. But what I want to do is I want to step back and look at how did it all started? Like, how did we end up here, right? So what suddenly happened? So to answer the question, it didn't really happen overnight, right? Natural language processing has been around for many years, but it kind of experienced a renaissance with word-to-vec. Just let me know if anybody have heard about it or it's the first time they're hearing about it. But the way you can think about word-to-vec is it is a shallow neural network. And then in June of 2017, there was a paper which was published and it introduced the concept of transformer architecture and concept of attention. And the name of the paper is Attention is All You Need. Highly, highly recommend everybody on this call, go ahead and read the paper, just search it and it's kind of free to download and read about it. And the architecture that was proposed in that paper back in 2017 laid the foundation for GPT and BERT. And we all know that GPT and BERT are still around, right, and doing great, and still are some of the top models. And yes, the T stands for transformer, both leveraging the transformer and attention architecture that was coined back in 2017. Now, what happened over the years was there was improvement in the parameters with the development, improvement in compute capacity and data. Because of the power of cloud, folks were able to iterate more faster, were able to be more aggressive when it came to the parameters. And the model size actually jumped from 1 million with a M to 1 billion with a B, like GPT-3 having 175 billion parameters. Now, this is when we started talking about LLM or a large language model, and community actually came together thinking, okay, let's go ahead and build open source models to help the rest of the tech community. Now, the ones on this particular slide, which are in red, are actually open source models, and you can actually download that model and use it in your own use case. And this is the phase we are in right now. And if you look at it, we see every week there is new models, and we are seeing increasing emergence of AI ML startup focusing on LLM. So now that we have the history in mind, just to highlight that it didn't really happen overnight, and it's still a very, very evolving field. Let's start with the most fundamental question as what exactly is generative AI? So I would actually start with this kind of a Venn diagram or bubble diagram, whatever you call it, with the top layer of it, which is artificial intelligence. So we as humans take a lot of the skills that we have for granted, right? But artificial intelligence is actually a system that actually replicates a task that is done by humans using human intelligence. Simple things like identifying from a picture that it's a dog or a cat. We take that for granted, but for us to train a model or leverage artificial intelligence to do exactly that would require lots of resources, compute, hours, etc. Right? Now, most of the AI use cases, making a prediction or a decision of a high degree of certainty is very similar to human judgment. And all of it is triggered by or fed in using machine learning. Now, what is machine learning? So machine learning uses a large amount of data, and it creates a model, right, which is actually a decision logic. And then deep learning is kind of type of a machine learning, which leverages the deep neural network. So if you look at our brain, right, we have a lot of neurons, right, and it's all connected using this neural network. And deep learning is actually kind of replicating that part. And this system actually replicates the human brain function, which allows systems to address more complex use case, which was previously not really possible. Now, generative AI sits, under the bubble of deep learning, but a generative AI is a type of AI that creates new contents and ideas, like Sonakshi mentioned before, right? Like conversations, stories, images, videos, and music. And like all AI, generative AI is powered by machine learning models, right? So you will be like, oh, wait a minute, machine learning, what is the difference between a traditional machine learning model versus the models which are created as a result of generative AI? Now, the ones that the model which powers generative AI is called as foundation models. And the difference between traditional and foundation model, we are going to talk in the next slide, but at a high level, these foundation models uses large corpuses of data. So when I say large corpuses of data, basically it's trained on the Wikipedia of the world, right? And you build this model, and that's what powers generative AI application or the ChatGPTs of the world. Now, if you were to compare or have a pictorial comparison between a traditional machine learning model versus a foundation model, I would want to highlight it using this picture, right? So on the left, you will see that in a traditional machine learning model, in order to achieve a specific task, like in this example, if I want to do text generation, summarization, question and answering, or build a chatbot, for example, I will have to gather label data, like what good looks like, right? Train a model, one model for that one specific task, right? And then use that model to do inference. Whereas on the foundation model side, it's completely a different approach that we are taking, right? We are taking a large corpuses of unlabeled data, like I mentioned, like the Wikipedias of the world, and we build a foundation model which is able to adapt to different tasks. So basically, on the left, you have 5 different models to do 5 different tasks, but on the right, you have one giant large language model called as foundation model, which is able to adapt to various tasks. Now, foundation models can also be customized to domain-specific functions that are differentiating for the business. For example, legal or healthcare, which is very specific to that particular domain. You can take a foundation model and then fine-tune for that specific domain as well. And the beauty of that is you can fine-tune it using a small fraction of data and compute required to train instead of starting all over from scratch. And the 3 most important reason why foundation model has been successful is, first of all, the transformer architecture and the emergence or the evolving cloud computing environment where you have a lot of compute capacity available at your disposal and a large proliferation of data. So you do have a lot of data available. And that's the reason why it's triggered to this renaissance kind of thing, like a revolution of generative AI and foundation models. So next, now that we have like the background in place, I'll hand it over to Sonakshi, who will talk about taking away from the hobbying part of generative AI to actually implementing it and using it for the business applications. Go ahead, Sonakshi.
So while there are a bunch of use cases that Gen AI caters to, we can categorize them into 4 main buckets. And those 4 main buckets are what you're seeing on the screen. So first one is to improve customer experience. Now, this is done by creating chatbots, virtual agents, doing contact center and sentiment analysis to understand what is the customer pulse, whether they are happy, whether they are sad, and how we can better provide them with a better personalized experience, so that at the end of the day customers have a good experience and they are satisfied with the service. The second main use case is to boost employee productivity. Now, the biggest one here for the coders here is code generation. So again, I'm not saying that Gen AI is currently not at a stage where it generates like 100% amazing code, but we can all agree that it has made employees' life easier and boosted productivity by some bit when it comes to debugging, writing code, generating text, writing emails. Also, sometimes I am guilty of using Gen AI to draft my emails. Sometimes, also, conversational search, where it makes it easy to find the right documents and the right resources that you're looking for. The third main bucket where Gen AI really helps is to improve business operations. even though we are living in this technology world, I have personally spoken to so many customers where employees are still doing laborious tasks. And it is really sad to see that some parts of the industries do not evolve at all, while some are living at some another place. So Gen AI can help boost those business operations by helping with document processing, finding out errors, doing content moderation, and also doing anomaly detection. And I will touch upon, I have the next slide where I talk about different industries, and I will just talk in short about how these use cases manifest across a lot of industries out there. And fourth, and the largest biggest use case of Gen AI is creativity. So Gen AI has again like disrupted and helped creators, be it music creation, image creation, text generation, authors, writers. There are so many. Even I recently came across a post where they actually took an image, they swiped the rubber on top of the object they wanted to move, and from an image, the generative AI actually generated a video of that object moving. So I saw a truck moving, a girl walking, and I was super fascinated by that. So with that, next, let's move to the next slide where I will talk about different industries across where Gen AI is, doing transformations. And again, you're seeing the few limited industries here. There are other industries apart from this where Gen AI has a lot of use cases and is doing a lot of disruption. But let me focus and talk about these few key ones. So the first one is finance. In finance industry, data is something that is most more of at most importance when it comes to decision making. So in this financial industry, Gen AI can help with risk assessment and doing risk prediction, so that companies can make calculated risks. One of the biggest use of Gen AI is to do fraud detection, because let's be real, we've all of us have dealt with cases or know people who've dealt with cases where they had fraud transactions on their credit cards or bank accounts. So Gen AI can help with these use cases. The second one is healthcare and life sciences. I will tell you an astonishing fact. Healthcare is one of those industries where the amount of burnout and the amount of dissatisfaction of the job is the highest. Healthcare employees are burnt out. They are like, they have to do tasks, they have to work long hours, and Gen AI can help them with note taking, finding out errors. Gen AI also has a huge potential in helping develop new drugs, create personalized treatment plans. We all have wearable devices, wearable watches, rings in our hands, wearable devices. So again, across healthcare, using all that devices data to help people. Like for example, I saw a post where customers, some iWatch was able to detect a heart attack before it happened, and it helped save the life. So this is one example of how it has played an important role across the healthcare industry. For automotive industry, I don't think I need to say much here. We have all seen how autonomous cars are ruling the world. Drivers are drivers in a few years, drivers will no longer be required to reach from one destination to another. But Gen AI is helping with a lot of design, a lot of engineering, doing quality control, and giving customers the personalized experience that they want. Again, like we saw earlier, that customer experience, that enhancement now you can see across this automotive industry. Other than that, for manufacturing industry, people or like companies are moving towards embracing smart factories, smart technologies to reduce operational burden for their employees. So Gen AI can help with optimizing product designs, creating labels that appeal to their customers, helping with supply chain optimization, identifying defects, identifying bugs. Media and entertainment, I already spoke about it. Gen AI is creating content which is personalized. I also came across a video which was completely AI generated, where there was a model who was showing products for a particular company. And then towards the end of the video, they stated that that model herself was AI generated. So that was like mind blow moment for me. Other than that, across telecom industry, Gen AI is helping optimize network performance, again improving customer service, preventing frauds. And in the energy industry, Gen AI is playing an important role by helping optimize energy production, energy consumption, helping predict how, based on the seasonality, energy demand will be, so that the energy team can be better prepared and plan better in terms of outages or energy wastage. So yeah, I mean, this is how generative AI is playing a variety of role across so many other industries. Apart from this, there are other industries that I did not even touch upon, like education, teaching, law, where generative AI is also helping quite a lot. Now, with that, let me jump on to the next slide where I will talk about the GCP capabilities on generative AI currently. So this diagram that you're seeing on the screen, this can be divided. Think about this in three parts. So the first part at the very bottom is the foundational part. The part over it is the platform part, and the part at the very top is the solutions part. Okay. So in the foundation part, all the Gen AI models run on Google powered infrastructure, which consists of GPUs and TPUs. So Google has this infrastructure, a scalable infrastructure in place to help you with your compute and infrastructure demands. On top of that, Google has this product called Model Garden. So Model Garden is basically, when you think about a garden, it is a collection of, a place where there are multiple trees and flowers. So this is similar to that, but it is a garden of models where we not only support Google models, but we also have open source and partner models that include Anthropic, that include the model from Facebook, the Llama model, Lambda model, and so many others. So this was the foundational level where we spoke about the infrastructure and we talked about providing a place to find these different models out there. Now the next layer is the next layer is the platform layer. So for the platform layer, we have this product called Vertex AI. Vertex AI is it's a managed machine learning platform that allows developers and builders and even data scientists to build, train, and deploy machine learning models and generative AI applications. You can also build a AI platform pipeline for there, so that you have this managed, machine learning, managed machine learning pipeline out there to automatically, deploy your models to production. So this was about the AI platform, and now when we talk about solution, this becomes a little more, domain focused. So for example, we have this product called Cloud Enterprise Search, which gives you the ability to search, which gives you like a search platform, basically your own personalized Google search to search across your intranet, your document store, your Confluence, Jira, all your internal stores. So that's about conversations. For search, sorry, that was about search. Now for conversations, Google Cloud also provides you with the ability to build a virtual agent on top of all your business data. So it becomes easy, boosts employee productivity or customer experience, where they can quickly browse your products or browse what offerings you have through natural language, just through a chatbot. And apart from that, we also have other AI solutions, which include contact center automation, document AI, to make it easier to process documents. Apart from this, so this is like the entire portfolio of products that is available in the Google space. We also have a large variety of partners who support and help customers build all these solutions in their own environment. And one last piece that I want you to take away from this, generative AI capabilities at Google Cloud is responsible AI is at the heart of everything that Google builds. So when I say responsible AI, what I mean is all the products and solutions that are provided by Google Cloud or that are built on Google Cloud need to stick to a list of principles, which include being fair, being accountable, being transparent on where the data sits, where it is coming from, ensuring that we never hinder or violate any user privacy requirements, and ensuring that the AI that is built is designed not to cause any harm or endanger anyone. So Google Cloud ensures that there are mechanisms or controls in place that they have put, as well as they provide to the customers, to ensure that all the applications that are being built in a responsible way. With that, I will pass it on to Neelam to talk about generative AI capabilities in AWS.
Okay, thanks, Sonakshi. So I just want to ask, how many of you on this call has never, are not data scientists or don't have data science knowledge? So for those folks who are, or even development knowledge, who don't have any data science knowledge or development knowledge, but still want to, in their small way, learn about generative AI capability or implement it in their daily life, I think the top layer of our generative AI portfolio at AWS is for you. So the first service out here is Canvas. So for Canvas, it's a click through. So you click on a visual interface, and the backend of that visual interface is having a foundation model in the background, and you can do different types of generative AI applications on Canvas. So that's the top layer right here. Let me use my cursor right here. That's the one. And how many of you are developers and you're looking for a free AI coding companion? Something which would help you to complete the code. For example, write me a code which would pick this file and convert it into or put it into a database. If you want a coding companion which you can plug it into any of your popular development tools like Visual Studio Code, you can use Code Whisperer completely for free. For the individual license, you don't have to sign up for AWS account. You just need a builder ID, which you can just sign up for free, and you can start using the Code Whisperer. Another capability of Code Whisperer is if you're worried about the reference from where this code is plucked out and maybe there is a license violation, Code Whisperer kind of highlight that. And if there is any kind of security security issues with your code, for example, and you are doing that code day in and day out, and maybe you don't have you're not paying attention to that, Code Whisperer can help you with that and take that heavy lifting away from you, and you can run those security checks. The next service here is QuickSight. So we talked a lot about generative AI, but what is generative BI? So we all know we are using some kind of a business intelligence dashboard on a daily basis where the management is pulling out graphs, visualization based on the data. But how about I have the capability of using natural language, like show me the top 5 products on a geographic map which are doing good in the last 15 months or 15 days or this month, for example, right? If you were to have that capability where you can type in the natural language and have the tool itself build you that visualization, how fun would that be, and how easy it will make everybody's lives? So QuickSight's generative BI capability is exactly doing that. Now the next layer is for those folks who are developers. You want to use generative AI, but you're not really, in a business or building a new model from scratch, but you just want to leverage a specific model using an API. Then the next layer, which is Amazon Bedrock, is just for you. And we do have a full catalog, right? So of the different third-party foundation models, to begin with, Anthropic Claude V2 is one of the models. Stable Diffusion by Stability AI is another one. Coheres Command is another one. For folks on this call who are worried about, how do I know which model to pick and when to pick? So there are some neutral bodies out there who will provide you a benchmark on, for a question and answering, this particular model does well. And one of those site is Stanford's Helm. And I'll share a link later in the chat, and Hugging Face. So you can look at these two neutral bodies to see which model you can pick for the task that you have in mind. So the second layer, Bedrock, you can just use an API, send in your details, and the service will give you the output, and you can pick and choose which model you want to use. So no specific heavy lifting involved here, right? Now the next layer is SageMaker Jumpstart. So SageMaker Jumpstart is, you can think of a repository where you have different models, different notebooks, examples, and solutions available for you to get started. Now, when would you use Jumpstart? So for example, you have a specific model in mind and you want to fine tune it for your own use case. For example, you want to use the Google's FLAN T5 model, which is in the Hugging Face, and you want to fine tune it for a legal domain. Or you want to use the GPT-J model and you want to fine tune it for financial domain. That's when you would use SageMaker Jumpstart, where you want full control. You feed it the data, you take the model from scratch and make it your own and then host it. So the ML services layer is for those persona. Now the last layer is for those experienced machine learning practitioners and data scientists who knows what they're doing, want full control of what they're doing, and are very comfortable with, building a model from scratch, doing pre-training or fine-tuning, and they just need the compute part of it. I just need a machine on which I can run my script on. Or I just need a machine where I can just use my model and, and have inference done on it. And I just need the chips, the powerful chips. For those folks, we also call as a self-managed machine learning. We offer silicon chips, Trainium and Inferentia, which provides a top-class price performance for those folks. And if you look at Hugging Face recent blog post, they actually compared running a BERT model on NVIDIA's GPU instance versus the Inf instance and Inferentia instance, and Inferentia instance was outright great in terms of performance, but it was also lower cost. So the last layer is for those folks. Now we did talk, and we did give you a teaser of what are the available options for you to get started on machine learning or get familiarized or start your generative AI journey, but it would not be complete without us talking about the resources that are available for you to get started. So Sonakshi, take it over.
So we have compiled a list of all the AWS resources that you can get by scanning the barcode there. I have also included a few lists to free GenAI trainings from Google Cloud. And there are generic resources on the top left of the screen where you can use, deep learning AI, fast AI, and the full stack. They have a lot of free and paid courses to get started with learning deep learning and GenAI. And with that, I think that's pretty much it, folks. This is the end of our intro to Gen AI presentation. If you would like to connect with myself or Neelam, we have all our social media, and Neelam has her barcode on the screen. So feel free to connect with us on these different platforms. And then thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
Thank you so much, Sonakshi and Neelam. I'm posting the social media links in the chat, in addition to some of the other links that were shared, but feel free to go ahead and start sharing your questions. You can use the Q&A feature, or you can post your questions directly in the chat. And I'll keep sharing some of these resource links. We have a question about where to find hold on, I just lost it. Oh, yeah. Is there a link for the different layers for development without extra cost? I think that's in reference to one of the slides. How to get the link for the different layers for development without extra cost, or find out more about that.
So is the cost related to the learning part or just trying out? I'm assuming it's for the trying out part, correct?
Yeah, probably.
So I can speak on behalf of AWS. So some of the services are absolutely free. Like I mentioned, the Code Whisperer, you can download the individual one absolutely free and try it out on your IDE. And we also offer some free tier for some of the services. So you sign up for an account, you get free tier, so you can get started with that. I think that those are few ways of how you can, try out these technology for free. But I'll hand it over to Sonakshi to talk for, the other cloud provider.
So I think it's pretty much the same for us as well. For the cost, we are pretty transparent. So any product that I spoke about, you will be able to find the related cost in the pricing page of that particular product. Also, the Gen AI free training that I included from Google Cloud has a bunch of free generative AI training, which you can take at absolutely no cost. So you simply need to create an account in Cloud Skills Boost platform, and you can get started to learn and train stuff for free. I hope, that answers your question.
It sounds like it covered the main points. It wasn't too specific, so I think that should do. I've also posted a lot of links that they both gathered for different generative AI labs and trainings, some videos, and yes, they just confirmed that it does answer the question. And learning generative AI from the full stack. Feel free. I know that it can be incredibly overwhelming navigating everything that's happening and all the changes, but definitely feel free to reach out to Neelam or Sonakshi on LinkedIn or via the Women Who Code Slack if you do have additional questions. And yeah, are there any other questions before we wrap up? Okay, I have a question. What are well, for each of you, what are you each excited about with generative AI personally? And how do you either personally use it, or what new changes are you particularly keen on seeing expand?
So I'll go first. I work with a lot of healthcare customers. So I am particularly excited for the ability of Gen AI to come in the market and help with a lot of innovation across the healthcare industry. So one particular model that comes to mind is the Palm model from Google Cloud, which is also happens to be a multimodal model. So for healthcare, the way it is evolving, and there is a flavor called MedPalm, which is focused to medical applications for healthcare, companies. So this model has the ability to, when you give it a blurb of text about some health condition, it tries to give you an output, maybe more clarifying questions, or what the diagnosis could be. You can upload your x-rays to it and you can get results on, this rib is broken, or there is a crack somewhere, or there is some issue somewhere. So I'm really looking forward for this, capability to become like generally available and to be launched, so that it affects and improves lives of not only people but also healthcare workers out there. So I'm personally excited for that.
Yeah, I will take a simple approach, right? How many of us want to go to a vacation, like, do a 5-day Disney trip, right? And are confused about, which day or, which park should I pick? What are the, nitty-gritties around it? What are the top hotels? When is a good time to go to Florida, and which parks can I skip, right? So I feel simple day-to-day task has been so simplified using generative AI. When you ask that question, hey, can you plan that trip itinerary for me? And it gets you a response. So it kind of helps you cut down a lot of heavy lifting you would actually do by, going through so many different links. So I feel just simplifying not only the different business, industries areas, but a normal person's day-to-day life is being simplified using generative AI. So I'll just give a simple spin to that.
We have another question. Specifically, what potential ethical considerations should we be aware of when implementing generative AI? That's an incredible question. I will actually post a couple of links for you, just so you're aware. There's something called the Algorithmic Justice League, which is founded by Dr. Joy Buolamwini from MIT, and she just has a book published called Unmasking AI. That's an incredible read, and she just had a talk with Sam Altman from OpenAI that you should definitely check out. So I'll post some links to that, but would love to know your thoughts on specifically, the ethical considerations we should be aware of in implementing generative AI.
Yeah, so the thing about generative AI is it's trained on Wikipedias of the world. So it's a good thing and a bad thing because, with the data, with the huge amount of data, which we might not have a lot of control on, includes a lot of biases. And that can help deter a lot of its implementation. Say, for example, policing, where you're seeing bias on a certain, category of people, or in employment or in financial, where a certain race might not be, or a certain gender, like a woman, might not get a loan because it has not been historically been done, for example, right? So I think the United States White House recently announced the AI guidelines. So in wake of these recent in proliferations of the generative AI technologies. So I feel everybody welcome this move, and especially for us, I think it's a welcome move wherein from the top we are getting instructions on how we need to be more responsible. We need to make sure that everything is done on an ethical ground. So I think that's a great start. And secondly, I feel like there are ways, if you're using Gen AI, that you should keep an eye out on toxicity, sentiments, and other biases, so that you are constantly monitoring, that aspect of it. So, I feel, those two things. I know Europe is much more further along the way when it comes to privacy, ethical, all those guardrails. But the fact that US just recently announced that, I feel it's a great welcome move for us. But I'll hand it over to Sonakshi.
No, I think Neelam, you covered it pretty well. I just feel that everyone who has the power to have an impact should have an impact. So if you're a developer, develop in a responsible way. If you're a company, ensure that you put in those principles, that no misuse happens or data is not used in a bad way. And if you're a government, then ensure that you do not allow launching generative AI capabilities that will disrupt or cause any kind of security threat or harm. So I think it is everyone's responsibility to implement responsible AI and ethical AI in any way, shape, or form or power they have in their hands.
Yeah, I think this is a very meaty, heavy conversation that I think could be its own series because of the potential impact in so many different industries. Yeah, I'm definitely really passionate about this topic. So please check out those links that I just posted in the chat as well. And also I want to encourage, as we wrap up, if you're not already following Women Who Code Cloud on LinkedIn, please do. We'd love to have you as part of the community. I'll post the link to I posted quite a few links. If you don't see them, definitely follow Women Who Code Cloud on Slack or join the Slack. And I'll be posting all of the links on the resources channel. Here we go. I'm going to just copy what I posted earlier. And yeah, there have been quite a few links that have been shared. So, but I mean, there's just so much to learn and cover. Feel free to share some of your own links as well, and I'll add those to the resources link for the Slack post. Any final words, Neelam, Sonakshi, before we wrap up?
I think final word is I'm super grateful. Thank you so much for spending your time this morning, evening, wherever your day start off. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you for going through this webinar. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them on the LinkedIn event. Myself and Neelam, we will ensure that we do our due diligence to check them. So if you have any questions that pop up later this night, later this evening, don't feel that it will go unanswered. Please put it into the LinkedIn channel or even on Slack, and we will ensure that we get back to you. But yeah, I mean, super happy. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah,
you can, yeah, definitely. Oh, pardon me. I didn't. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was sorry. I was responding to Sonakshi's comment about keeping the conversation going on the LinkedIn event chat. So I'm actually going to post a link to that right now. But yes, please carry on, Neelam.
Yeah. So I just want to say, for folks on this call who are thinking, you're too overwhelmed, this looks too hard, this is something that I cannot do. Take it from a person who doesn't have a data science degree. Neither me or Sonakshi are, trained data scientists, right? But we are in this field and we're enjoying it very much. So I would say that it's never too late, and we need more and more women representation in this field specifically, which is growing, and somebody asked about the ethical question. Yes, the more we are, I think the more color and diversity we would bring to the workforce who is building out this generative AI, for the years to come. So encourage everybody to actually take a look at the resources that are shared and, dive right into it. Don't get overwhelmed by it.
I couldn't agree more. As a coding instructor, I'm constantly meeting people, especially career changers, people coming from non-traditional backgrounds into tech. And the biggest thing that I would want to emphasize is that you can just use the tools to teach you as well. You can have ChatGPT explain these concepts to you like you're 10 years old, or use a metaphor, that sort of thing. But don't think that it is moving fast. It is overwhelming, but you can definitely, if you focus on these fundamentals, you can kind of, clear out all of the noise and understand these concepts, and then maybe pick an area that resonates with you specifically, whether it's a specific industry or something you're really passionate about, and use that as sort of your guiding light to move forward in exploring generative AI. And with that said, I just want to say a big thank you on behalf of the Women Who Code Cloud community to Sonakshi and Neelam. This was wonderful. We really, really appreciate you being here. We know how incredibly busy you are. So it really means a lot that you took the time to kind of enlighten the community and just share your learning and share a bit of your journey. So yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. Thanks, everybody. Stay in touch.
Bye, everyone. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Recording.
Bye.
Bye.